Welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So if you're going to be doing anything on the internet, then more than likely you're going to be doing some type of image editing. And one of the biggest things that I see a lot of people do, especially here as a YouTuber, is to actually create images without the background. So in this case, I have my face, and previously it did have a background, but I removed it so then I can use that to create YouTube thumbnails like this. And quite often, a lot of people would use image or photo editing programs like Photoshop, or in this case, GIMP, which is free and open source to do this. However, it's definitely not the easiest thing to do, especially if you are a beginner. And so today I'm going to be showing you the easiest way to actually remove backgrounds from your images so then you can have something like this where it's just your face. And so we're going to be doing that by editing this image here. So you can see here, here's my face, here's a background, and all I want to do is get an outline of my face and remove the background. And so there are many ways in which you could do this, but I'm going to show you what I think is the easiest way, especially for beginners, and it's not going to take you long at all. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to go to this website called Pixlr. So it's pixlr.com. And this is one of the best websites out there for people who just want to do some image editing, but at the same time, they don't want to have to learn something that's a little bit definitely more complex like GIMP or Photoshop to do that. And at the same time, like GIMP, this is free, so you don't have to pay to do this. Even though there are paid options, the great thing is there is an option here that they've added called Remove BG or Remove Background. Okay, so once you get to this site, all you have to do is go to Remove BG, and I will leave a link to this website in the description area below. And once you're here, you could just open an image, or you could drag an image directly to your browser, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to drag this image that we just looked at earlier to your browser, and then they have some AI technology that will do all the hard work that's required to remove backgrounds. This is something that you're going to have to do manually in other programs. So as you can see here, it already removed the background. Now, if you are okay with this, you could just go ahead and download it. I'm going to download it right now. And here, if I open it, there it is. There's my image without a background. And you could easily pull this into an image or photo editing program. So I'm going to show you that right here. Let me go ahead and get rid of that one. And now I'm going to go to my downloads where I just made that transparent image with my face, and I'm gonna go ahead and drag it in here. Okay, so there it is, and now you can do whatever you need to with that image. And that was super easy. That took me like a few seconds. And the great thing is, if you're not satisfied with this image, you could also fine-tune it. So if you go here to fine-tune, there are some different tools, and this is very similar to what you would do in an image editing program, but it keeps it super simple. So I'm going to go over this really briefly. So there is a draw tool, magic tool, shape, and then a lasso. So if you are very familiar with using image editing programs, there's very similar tools here. And the mode, there's keep and remove. And so let me show you how this works. So the draw, the default right now mode is on remove. So if I use this right now, it's going to remove stuff from the image. And at the same time, there's this brush as well. You could increase the brush, decrease the brush, and you could also increase or decrease the softness. Okay. And other things you could do is, if you didn't want to use the actual draw, you could also use magic. So magic, it's going to automatically adjust things by the tolerance. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reset everything to show you how this works manually. So you could go down here to reset right there, and this will make more sense. And so let's go back to the original. So here's the draw. Anything you have it on, it removes it. If you go to magic, you can remove portions of it, as you can see there. And then here we have shape. So here's a square. You can do circle right here, and you can also adjust the softness here. And here is a lasso. So here you have more control of how the shapes look like, but it removes. And then there's also an option here in the mode to do keep. So what is the difference between remove and keep? For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool used at geekoutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below. So if you go keep, what it's going to do now is instead of removing this primary image that you have right here, what it's going to do is it's going to bring back portions of your background. Okay, so it's the opposite. So that's kind of confusing, but that's what that does. So in this case, instead of deleting stuff, it's going to bring stuff back in. So say, for example, you wanted to keep some of the background. That's what you can use this for. And you can use this with any of the tools. And there's other things right here as well. You can reset things. There's also an invert option as well. So invert the options that you've removed things. And here's the reset. And there's also contiguous as well. So just play around with that. And there is a hint as well. I don't really know too much about how that works, but it's there if you need it. I'm going to reset everything. So that's how you use this free remove background tool by Pixlr. And the best thing about it, in my opinion, not only is it easy, but it's free. Because some programs or services, they will charge you for a remove background feature. And even with just the remove background AI, which is really what I think would be beneficial to a lot of beginners, it works really well. So as you can see here by this example, honestly, I could just use this as it is. But the great thing is, if you wanted to manually adjust this, you can. And I still think this is easier to use than any of the other image editing tools. So that is it for this particular video on how to remove backgrounds from your images, from your pictures. And if you actually had any other ways in which you do this, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my tutorials and tips for YouTube, I do have a playlist. I'll leave that in the description area below as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Hey geeks, if you are a creative geek like me and you wanted to learn how to create content on YouTube and other places on the internet, then check out my Go Content Creators group, where you'll get access to additional videos and content for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part of it is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Go Content Creators group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.